G'day guys, Gundam Russ back once again. Well, today we're taking a look at some of my favourites out of my PS2 collection. We're not going to look at the entire PS2 collection. That'll be saved for a video down the track, so stay tuned for that. But this video was brought up in an idea from a good friend of mine, Keith, that is on YouTube, and he's been super supportive of the channel and he wanted me to do this. So dude, this video is dedicated to you, Keith. Guys, please stick around to the end of the video where I will be doing another giveaway for this month. So if you want a chance to win a game, I'll explain how you can go about and do that. So without further ado, let's jump in and check out some of my favourite PS2 titles. So these PS2 games I'm going to be showing you aren't, the most mind-blowing, awesome games out there. I'm not going to be doing lots of the sort of favourite titles that a lot of people have, like sort of things like Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, and Final Fantasy X, those sort of things. I'm going to be showing you games that I enjoyed that you might not have played. So to kick it off, I'm going to show you this game here, God Hand. Now this is just a fun beat 'em up title that I absolutely loved playing as a kid. I loved the fact that this game had a good mix of Western and Japanese mixed comedy throughout this. Very, very over the top characters. If you play this, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it had a really good, mix of that sort of traditional sort of beat 'em up title mixed with the sort of new style of, linking sort of combo attacks and coming up with like real big attacks at the end. And it's just, it's just a great game that I thoroughly enjoy playing from start to finish. And it's one that is always a sort of title that I recommend to anyone who's asking me, what sort of game should I pick up for the PS2. God Hand is definitely a solid one. Next up we have Micro Machines V4. Now I've been a big fan of Micro Machines since I was playing them as a kid when I used to have the Biker Mice from Mars and the Biker Mice Little Garage. That was the coolest thing ever. I loved that to bits. And then my mum got rid of it and I was like, oh, so angry at the time, but I've forgiven her now. So it took me all these years, but no, I've forgiven her. But Micro Machines V4 is just an awesome title, guys. It's one of these games that you can have, a great multiplayer experience at home. Back in these days, didn't have really online gaming, that sort of, so much. It was all about the, sitting down with your friends. And if you get a group of friends over, you have a few drinks, have some assorted sweets and chips and all those sort of things, you're gonna have a blast with this. It's just real high fun laughs and just action all the way through. It's, you see through these photos we're throwing up, just some real fun tracks. It's just an absolute blast. It's one of my favorites multiplayer games to play when my friends come over. Next we have a JRPG title, and this is Suikoden 4. Now this is basically set 150 years before this particular title, the OG Suikoden. Now this is a very sought after title in PAL. I remember my friend got me this game as a gift, and I knew it cost him probably around about $100. I couldn't believe it, blew me away. Always been grateful for that. But yeah, this is set, as I said, 150 years before, and it is just a great title. Really enjoyed this. I remember letting this out to my friend Josh. He loved it as well. And this was like a big jump, gone from, sort of the original Suikoden JRPG to this was a huge jump in, overall graphics for one, but it was just amazing to find that, the majority of the characters within this game were voiced. So you can actually hear what they were saying rather than having just to read the text. And that was a big thing with the PS2, especially with JRPGs, is when you went from PS1 to PS2, having those sort of voices being added to the game, I thought was a really cool thing. And I just thoroughly enjoyed this JRPG. I don't want to spoil any of the sort of story if you haven't played it, but just know from me, it was a great game, really enjoyed it. And it's one of my favourite JRPGs on the system. Next, guys, we have a rally game. This one here is WRC2, and this is a title that I've put hundreds of hours into. Back in the day, it was just an amazing game. It had like real life rally tracks that would follow along the championship rounds of the actual official rally series. It had around about 20 drive, 21, 22, probably about 20, 21 drivers within the game as well from memory. And this was just like the ultimate time for playing rally games. You had all the major manufacturers, you know, you got here Subaru, you got Ford, Mitsubishi's, you got Peugeot. Wow, this was awesome. And I remember going through every single race manufacturer and actually winning the championship with each of them, and that was just a huge achievement as a younger Gundam Russ. So this is just a great title that I think everyone should have in their PS2 collection. Now this one here is a great action / horror title, and this is one I highly recommend people play. And without spoiling the story too much, I know it's from the PS2 and you're probably thinking, Russ, it doesn't really matter nowadays, but it does. I really want you to enjoy this. But you're playing a character who is basically on death row. He has murdered his ex-wife and children, and he believes he's innocent, but he's basically, you know, he had blacked out and doesn't know how it happened. So yeah, you can just, if you're like me and you're into sort of, you know, murder mysteries and how trying to figure out, you know, if the person's innocent or not, this is the game for you. Seriously guys, it is super fun. I can't recommend it highly enough. And next we have this one here, and this one is special for two reasons, and this is Test Drive Unlimited. One, it was just a really good racing title that I really loved, and two, this was the one title I remember playing so much with my twin nephews, and that was just, you know, there's sort of experiences in life that you really love, especially being an uncle, was, you know, play some games with your nephews. And this was just great. It had all the sort of modern supercars at the time. The map itself was huge. I mean, you could spend like a whole day driving from one map to the other, like, and you wouldn't get bored. There's just so many roads to turn down, and there was the ability to obviously test drive, you know, different cars, and try them out before you bought them, which was pretty cool. It had a lot of you know, challenges and races where you could earn cash, and it was just a really fun, solid title. If you're looking to pick this up, I'll always recommend probably picking it up on the Xbox 360. Just, you know, graphically it's just a little bit better, but yeah, this is always a great memory for me. Next, we continue on with the racing titles. We have one of my favourite Need for Speed titles. This is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, and I'll always love this cover art. This one here is the Australian Power version, and on the front here we have the Australian built Holden HSV special vehicle, and then we have on the back here we have got a Ford performance vehicle, the Ford Falcon, which was also built here in Australia. And yeah, it was always really cool to be able to race cars that were made here. It was just really cool, like you see the cars out in the street and you could race them in the game as well. And it just had such a good feel, this game. It was just a good arcade racing title. You know, it allowed you to be the racer or you could be the cop, and it just had I loved everything that was tied in around this. Even the music was great. It was one of those sort of first Need for Speed titles that introduced like big mega jumps, and I used to always love trying to discover where they were within a track and finding little shortcuts along the way. It was just overall one of my favourite Need for Speed titles out there. Next one I've got here, not a lot of people know about this one here, but it's Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Now, I've been a big fan of the Rumble Arena games. The first one was on PlayStation 1, I do own that. You got number 2 here. There was also a Rumble Arena on the PS3 that a lot of people don't know about, and that's a really fun title as well. This one is just a good one to play with one of your friends, so you have the multiplayer ability, and yeah, it's just a really good, you know, beat 'em up rumble sort of arena style game, which is kind of, you know, I guess a little bit similar to things like Smash Bros, where you could just go and jump around the arena and try and take out the enemies. So this is quite a sought after title. If you're looking for this one here, you know, in the power regions, you're probably looking around about maybe $30–40 Australian, if you're lucky. So always treasure this within my collection. Now this one here, this is what got me into the love of Dragon Quest. This one here is Dragon Quest: The Journey of the Cursed King, which is basically Dragon Quest 8 in other areas of the world. absolutely love this. I discovered this game through, some of you guys might know, through Happy Console Gamer many years ago, and I managed to find this for $20, which was a really good buy back in the day. And I just loved everything about this, the music, the characters, oh my god. And then, you know, throwing in the element of these beautiful cel-shaded graphics in this 3D world. It was just a recipe for awesomeness, and one of my favourite JRPGs. And yeah, it's a game that I always hope that one day we might see this be, you know, remastered, similar to what we've seen with, you know, I guess Final Fantasy VII. I think that would be really cool. But I actually do want to get back into playing this again, and I probably will do that in the next few weeks. So yeah, this one here, guys, Dragon Quest VIII, pick it up. And then lastly, guys, we have this one here, Sonic Heroes, and I just absolutely loved playing this title, and I only recently played it probably in the last last few years. My good friend Victor had recommended this game, and it was an absolute blast, you know, racing through the sort of different sort of Sonic world characters, and, you know, picking up things along the way, and ultimately trying to get all the emeralds to take on Dr. Robotnik. And yes, it is Dr. Robotnik, not Dr. Bloody Eggman. I always hate that they call him Dr. Eggman now, but for me, it's always been Dr. Robotnik. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but this is just a solid Sonic title, one of my favourites, and I cannot highly recommend it enough. Now guys, that was some of my favourite PS2 titles. You know, not the best of my games within the PS2, but as I said to you guys, I will show you a full collection of my PS2 titles, probably maybe in the next coming weeks. Big thanks to Keith for suggesting this video. I hope you enjoyed this, mates. It's always been such a pleasure having you as a big supporter of this channel. Alright guys, just want to say that a lot of new merchandise has dropped onto the Teespring, so if you guys want to check that out. I'm wearing one of my new jumpers. I know in some parts of the world you guys are heading into the summer, but for the people who are watching from Australia, check out some of the new merch that's coming through with the winter range here. I've also got some new t-shirt designs as well. Now you guys, if you've stuck around to the end of here, you might be asking, you know, what is the competition for this month? And it is to win a copy of one of my favourite games, Horizon Zero Dawn. And the way you can be eligible to win this game is to become one of my Gundam Rust Gaming members, of YouTube members that is. And you know, for a few bucks a month, you can go in the running to win this title. And what I ultimately want to do, guys, is every month try and give away a game or something gaming related, so you guys are getting something back for your money, and I think it's going to be a really fun thing. As always guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up, and as always guys, don't forget to subscribe, fools. See you later.